So next up, we have a fireside chat. The topic will be best practices to engage, acquire, and retain viewers. To be a part of the fireside chat, we have Chandpreet Arora, Head AVOD, Woot, Viacom, 18 Digital Ventures India. And to moderate the session, we have Mr. Rohit Tikmani, Head Growth, Viacom, 18 Digital Ventures. Rohit, request you to fire away. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Vijay. Thank you, everybody, for having us here. It's a pleasure to be here with Rohit, who heads up our product and growth marketing for Woot. This is the most interesting subject that Rohit and I could have probably engaged on, given that we are right now dealing with 91% tele density in the country, and at 350 million consumers of OTT, we've just got started. With the expected growth rates, going beyond any other platform right now in the country. I think the biggest challenge for us is not how much we will grow by, but which are the audiences that we can engage with, whose attention can we own. So without much ado, I'd just like to dive straight in and actually ask some of our audience participants, if my screen is visible, who is this person? Anybody? Rohit, you'll have to help me because I can't see the chats right now, if there are any.
Yet?
None yet? Okay. Let's put the audiences out of their misery of. So Miguela is a CGI influencer who's positioned as a 19-year-old musician, a climate change activist, a taco truck expert, and is a robo. There are no points for guessing that she's very popular, or it is very popular, and the company that has created Miguela actually lands up charging $100,000 at the minimum for any endorsement that this character makes, and it goes and the character has been making endorsements for brands such as Louis Vuitton and nothing less than that. This kind of really puts us in a very interesting position to ask ourselves a question: what exactly is it? What does it mean to own the attention of our consumers on digital media today? And brings us back to our topic of how do we attract, retain, and engage these audiences. Just sharing here from my insight, and we'd like to talk about it essentially in the business of entertainment and information. How are the digital consumers different from the TV first audiences, right? Rohit and I have not necessarily agreed on a lot of stuff, but this is something we definitely agree on. And one of the fundamental things that changed for people who were born before 1990 and after 1990 was the way they engaged with technology. For most of us who are here probably in this audience and were born post 1990, for us, smartphones was the biggest revolution, which actually connected us to the world and gave us access to information, news, entertainment on our personal devices. Whereas for Gen Z, which was actually born post 1990 and into technology, here social media was the biggest revolution. A shared economy, sharing of resources, whether it was an Airbnb or whether it was an Uber or whether it was OTT and the watch parties and e-gaming, from being on attached to our PS3s to going into massive multiplayer online games entirely. This has been the true revolution for Gen Z. And there is, and one of the most interesting surveys that I ever went through was going through this question amongst millennials and Gen Z, whether have you ever thought about taking a break from digital media? In millennials, more than 30% of the users said yes, at least once in their lifetime they have considered it, whereas Gen Z doesn't see the difference between being digital and being offline. So the question here for all of us is, how has this changed? And this is a question what Rohit and I'd like to address together. And Rohit, you can come in here. Like, how has this changed for us as marketers? How are we adapting our messaging to users who have very different digital consumption habits? Let's just take an example of messaging. What digital messaging means to me, maybe WhatsApp, and to a millennial, to a Gen Z, it would mean maybe direct messaging on Instagram. And if the person is on Android, it would be very different from the experience the person is having on Apple. But Android being the relevant market here. So at this point, I'd like to take a break and Rohit, get you to come in and say, as a marketer, when you are looking at acquiring consumers, owning the attention of the consumers, what are the factors that play a very critical role in your strategy?
Sure. Thanks, Sandeep. So, first of all, you need great content that everyone loves. That's the ultimate acquisition magnet. But all things being equal, if you're a universally popular OTT app with an AVOD business like Woot is, it probably makes sense to carpet bomb with OEM installs rather than sharpshoot with hyper targeted ads. If you also have an SWOT business like we have, in that case, it's probably better to sharpshoot people who buy stuff on the internet and pay for it digitally rather than carpet bomb. So that number is still what 4, 5, 6 crore people out of let's say the 50 crore WhatsApp India MAUs. So and we've had good success catching these users, these transacting users for SWOD on payment apps such as PhonePe, etc., with scratch card partnerships. On the acquisitions, on the attribution side, it's probably smarter to send deeper engagement signals, week 2 retained users, etc., instead of just shallow ones, which is video view. On the creative side, it probably makes sense to not just rely on the classic teasers and trailers, but also sequence and stitch together short creatives like character reveals, money shots, power dialogues, etc. Um, we also found that mother tongue creatives work better for multilingual, for regional content. Like for example, every time we put a Big Boss Kannada visual with Sudeep on it and Kannada script, it just gets more CTRs than the English ones. Uh, but most of all, in acquisition, we should try and meet users at the point which they express their intent in, which is basically search. So make sure you have good SEO, make sure you have good SEM ads, and make sure you integrate with Google One to show up in their knowledge graph results. So that's really that. It's still the basics of online marketing that rule the roost when it comes to acquisition.
Thanks. So, picking a thread from this, this is the true functional blunt force, as you usually put it, on how do we go customers. If I just zoom out a bit and we talk about how we actually look at audience cohorts, and before we bring them on board or once they're on board, how do we engage with these audiences is really critical, right? You may bring certain audiences on board, but how do you make sure that we're learning rightly and serving to them either in the forms of communities or in making the right pop culture references while serving content to them? Could you share some insights there?
Sure, Chanpreet. When it comes to engagement, the only job is to make them watch. We are a OTT app after all, and there are 3 ways in which people figure out what to watch on your service. One is search, one is discover, and one is your own marketing, on deck marketing. So in terms of search, the best practices again are still the basics: show accurate results, show them fast, anticipate their searches by auto-completing, showing relevant search results, the next best search results when you don't have what the user is looking for, showing them trending searches so that they know what others are searching and what they should be searching for too, and so on. In terms of discovery, ensure that your catalog is updated from time to time. Make sure you keep rotating your tiles and trays. Make your visuals pop, make them exciting, animate them if you can, and the same old best practices. On the on deck marketing side, if you have an AWOD business like we have, then you probably always have some unsold inventory, so make sure you maximize your house ads, as they call them, to drive traffic to your other shows. Basically, it's best to market to people who are already engaged with you on your app than going after people who are not on your app. Also, use machine learning to understand your users based on their demographics, their technographics, and their behavior on your app, and then recommend content accordingly to them to make what we call the theater of one.
And thank you so much for talking about this. But the real crux of the entire story is retention. Okay,
Yes.
and I know that content plays a really critical role, but there is also a huge science and art of engagement that is critical. And I'd like your comments on what is machine learning, what's the role of machine learning, and what's the role of what's the role of any innovation in formats or gamification, like you mentioned here, in retention. What have been your most recent learnings?
Sure. So machine learning helps us individualize communications at scale. So if we know that a user has shown a propensity to click on a particular kind of push notification because their behavior in terms of content consumption has also been consistent with that kind of content, then you kind of segment them as, let's say, a reality show lover or a sports lover or whatever, and then you send them retention. You make them part of contextual retention programs. So if you send them notifications or emails or SMS, or even if you remarket to them on the internet, you then can ensure that your creatives have higher relevancy to that user. They are not shows that they are not going to see at all, or they've already watched. So that's where machine learning comes into play. That's what one of the retention best practices is that works for us. Also, with retention, what we see typically is that instead of approaching big bang ideas with conviction and sinking a lot of engineering and product time in it, we have found greater success with rapid iterations, with throwing on the wall and seeing what sticks. Learning from users to find your audience creative fit, and then kind of going from there, rather than thinking about a big idea and then getting disappointed at the end of it. You asked about gamification, Chandpreet. To be clear, we're talking about we are not talking about casual games inside the product like Candy Crush वगैरह. We are talking about imbuing our core product with game-like features like leaderboards and contests and rewards and streaks and so on. These have worked well for us and typically work in OTT products because these are high frequency kind of products. Most people use an OTT app at least once a week. So yeah, these are some of the things that have worked for us in Chandpreet in the past.
Right. Thank you so much, Rohit, for sharing with us your learnings. As a marketer, before we wrap up and open questions for the audience, I think the most important learning for me personally has been, and as it resonates amongst all my other colleagues in the OTT business as well, is you cannot just look at demographics anymore, and that's been a foregone conclusion for the past 5 years. But what has become very pivotal in our ability to adapt our messaging for our users has been identifying them with their passion points, with their app personas, content consumption patterns, and bringing in pop culture references that matter to them in this democratized world of tens of thousands of influencers. It is really essential for us to understand what and where do they consume content from, and also who are the pop culture, who are the influencers that are leading their decision making right now. On that note, I just want to say thank you for thank you for inviting us for this forum. It's been a pleasure to be here for both Rohit and I. Vijay, thanks again. Yeah, if there are any questions, we're happy to address them.
Thank you very much, Sharanpreet and Rohit. Because of the time crunch, my apologies that we'll not be able to take questions. But if there are any questions, I would pass it on to you. Please answer them. Thank you very much for your time. Much appreciated.